The Inter-Religious Council dialogue is part of the efforts to reflect on and take stock of the 2011 elections and chart a post-election consensus and way forward for Uganda.
Judging from the recent events, the rising cost of fuel and commodities, the walk-to-work campaign, the clashes between demonstrators and the security agencies, and the strikes in our universities, we are even more convinced that there is need for a forum such as this.
Several such dialogues have been organized by the Inter-Religious Council since the general elections in February. Today's meeting drew the Inter-Religious Council and political, cultural, religious, and academia and development partners, among others. But while opening the meeting today on behalf of Prime Minister Apollo Nsibambi, James Baba, the Deputy Minister and the Vice President's office, kicked up a storm after he accused the religious leaders of taking sides in the current political and economic turmoil in the country.
It is unfortunate that some of you religious leaders were partisan and are continuing to do so regrettably. We thank those religious leaders who have remained objective.
The remarks did not go down well with religious leaders at the meeting, which had been convened to pave way for a national reconciliation process. Some of them instead accused the president of compromising religious leaders with gifts and brown envelopes.
Once you are given this handout, you are patronizing. You can't speak against somebody who has given you something. So I think the government should also check the way they are handing out these things. Some of these things are meant to bias.
Prominent civil society activist Miriam Matembe, who was at the meeting, said the Prime Minister's speech was not drafted in the spirit of building sustainable peace and national reconciliation.
For the Prime Minister, in fact, let me start. For the Prime Minister to come here and indulge in the usual arrogance of this government, it is very offending and it is annoying.
The government was also accused of lacking a coherent response to the current outcry against commodity prices, and that's why it's blaming the religious leaders.
There is no response. Government has no response to walk to work. No ideological response. Because it knows that on every front, whether it is the question of prices, whether it's the question of government priorities, whether it's the question of the whole idea that I do not need to notify anybody when I want to go to work. That is not the law.
The two-day meeting on working together for sustainable peace, nation building and national reconciliation ends on Friday. Hilary Isiga, NTV.